Am I wrong for being upset my GF of 8 years now wants sex? My girlfriend and I have been in a committed relationship for 8 years, and during that time, we've never had sex. From the very beginning, I was aware that my girlfriend had some deep-seated issues regarding sex. She has been open with me about her feelings and her struggles, and over the years she has sought professional help to better understand and address these issues. After working with a therapist, she came to the realization that she might never want or feel the need for sex. When she shared this with me, I made the conscious decision to stay in the relationship despite knowing that sex would likely never be a part of it. She is a truly wonderful person, kind, compassionate, intelligent, and I felt that these qualities far outweighed the absence of a sexual component in our relationship. I've always respected her boundaries and never pressured her for sex. I've also made it clear that I never expected her to change or compromise on something that made her uncomfortable. However, I would be lying if I said it wasn't challenging at times. There were moments early on when I struggled with the lack of physical intimacy. I had a healthy libido when we first started dating, and adjusting to a sexless relationship was difficult for me. Despite this, I chose to remain monogamous because I believed in the strength of our bond and the love we shared. For us, non-monogamy was never on the table as an option. As the years went by, something unexpected happened. My own libido gradually began to diminish. It wasn't an overnight change, but a slow, almost imperceptible shift. Over time, I noticed that my interest in anything sexual had completely faded. I no longer felt the desire to masturbate or watch pornography, which had once been a normal part of my life. Even when watching movies or TV shows with explicit scenes, I felt nothing. No reaction, no arousal, no interest. It was as though any sex drive I once had vanished entirely. These days, my relationship with physical intimacy is limited to hugging and kissing my girlfriend, and that's enough for me. I find comfort and fulfillment in the emotional closeness we share, and I no longer miss the sexual aspect of a relationship. This shift in my libido has made it easier for me to fully embrace the life we've built together, but it's also been a strange and somewhat disorienting experience. I sometimes wonder if my body and mind adapted to the circumstances of our relationship, or if this change would have happened regardless. Looking back, I recognize how much I've grown and how my perspective on intimacy and relationships has evolved. My girlfriend and I have a strong, loving partnership built on trust, respect, and mutual understanding. While our relationship might look unconventional to some, it works for us. We've found a balance that allows both of us to feel loved and valued without compromising who we are or what we need. I'm still processing what it means to have lost my libido entirely, and I'm not sure if it will ever return. But for now, I'm at peace with where I am. My relationship with my girlfriend remains one of the most important and fulfilling aspects of my life, and I wouldn't trade it for anything. Recently, something unexpected happened in my relationship with my girlfriend. Out of the blue, she made a move to grab my crotch. Caught off guard, I instinctively pushed her away and asked her what she was doing. She responded that she wanted to try and start being sexual with me. This was a surprising development, given our long-standing understanding about the nature of our relationship and her feelings towards sex. After the incident, we had a long and serious conversation about why she suddenly felt this way. I wanted to understand her reasoning and where these new feelings were coming from. She admitted that she couldn't fully explain it herself. She seemed uncertain, as though she was grappling with emotions and desires she hadn't experienced before. While I appreciated her honesty and willingness to share her feelings, I had to be truthful with her as well. I told her that I no longer wanted to have sex and that my libido was gone. Her response was one of disappointment, which led to a noticeable tension between us. In the days that followed, the situation became increasingly strained. The other day we had a fight about the issue. During the argument, she accused me of withholding sex as a form of punishment for her past refusal to engage in physical intimacy with me. She claimed that she didn't believe me when I said my libido was gone and insisted that I was intentionally trying to make her feel bad. Her words stung because they felt completely out of line with my actions and intentions. I'm frustrated and hurt by her accusations. From the very beginning of our relationship, I made the choice to accept her boundaries and remain in a sexless partnership. I never pressured her, never made her feel guilty, and never tried to change her mind. I gave up a significant aspect of a traditional relationship because I valued her as a person and cherished the connection we shared. To now be accused of using my lack of libido as a weapon against her feels incredibly unfair and dismissive of the sacrifices I've made. This situation has left me feeling conflicted and unsure about the future of our relationship. On one hand, I understand that she may be navigating complex emotions and trying to reconcile new desires with her past feelings. On the other hand, I feel that her reaction to my honesty is unfair and places unnecessary blame on me. I've tried to handle this relationship with patience, respect, and care, but this recent turn of events has tested those qualities in ways I wasn't prepared for. Right now, I'm trying to figure out how to move forward. I want to address the tension between us and find a way to communicate more effectively, but I'm also wary of feeling like my own needs and boundaries are being dismissed. It's a delicate balance, and I'm not sure what the right path looks like from here. All I know is that I want to approach this with the same respect and honesty that I've always tried to bring to our relationship. Am I wrong in this? Let's read some relevant comments. First comment was, she says she doesn't believe me when I say my libido is gone. What does she have to say about you being understanding of her issues regarding sex for the last 7 years? Sounds like main character syndrome. Ikman Bajiel. He replied to the first comment. She said it's different because she had some trauma regarding sex, and that I've never been sexually assaulted. True. He is on how he controls his sex drive. He answered replied Kumit, it's hard to explain how I did it. But anytime I felt horny I just did things like hitting myself or telling myself to stop several times. I did this because otherwise I'd end up sexually frustrated. He iced his girlfriend being dismissive and not accepting no as an answer. He answered a replied comment. I get it, but it's really frustrating. I mean, I spent 8 years and never once pressured her or got mad at her. And now that it's me who doesn't want sex, she picks fights and yells at me? Second comment was, you're not wrong. No one is entitled to suddenly have sex. Especially when she said she was never going to have it. Now what's I'm curious and kinda sad about is you going years, almost a decade, without sex. Not BC you wanted to, but BC she didn't want to. And now BC she suddenly wants it, she expects you to just go along. Extremely selfish mentality for her to just think of you as a light switch to turn on and off for her own personal preferences. Geez, and she didn't even talk to you before grabbing you? Man, this situation sucks. He posted an update is 3 days after. We had a talk and it was one of the most open and vulnerable conversations we've ever had. I finally explained to her the steps I took to suppress my libido. I told her that, whenever I felt aroused, I would hit myself and mentally reprimand myself, telling myself no. Over time, this behavior completely diminished my sex drive. It wasn't easy to admit this to her as I've kept it to myself for years. I never told her because I didn't want her to feel guilty or responsible for my actions. This was something I chose to do on my own, and I never wanted her to carry the burden of knowing what I went through. When I shared this with her, she broke down crying. She said she was deeply sorry for what I had put myself through and for the pain I endured. Her reaction was genuine and heartfelt, and it was clear that she truly regretted the circumstances that led me to take such extreme measures. I reassured her that it wasn't her fault, emphasizing that it had been my choice to handle things the way I did. I didn't want her to feel like she was to blame for any of it. After that, we just held each other for a long time. It was a moment of shared pain, but also of understanding and connection. We both realized that our relationship had reached a point where professional help might be necessary to navigate these complicated emotions and dynamics. We decided together that we would start couples therapy to address the underlying issues in our relationship. We want to rebuild trust, improve communication, and find a way to move forward together. Additionally, we agreed that, when I feel ready, we will see a sex therapist to explore my relationship with intimacy and desire in a safe and supportive environment. This conversation marked a turning point for us. It's not going to be an easy journey, but I feel hopeful that, by taking these steps, we can strengthen our relationship and create a healthier, more fulfilling connection for both of us. She told me she's sorry for how she's been acting and that she's willing to be patient with me as we navigate this together. During our conversation, I asked her a question that had been weighing on my mind. What happens if I never get my libido back? Her response was honest. She said she doesn't know but reiterated that she's willing to be patient with me. So, I've decided to try to work on regaining my libido. While I'm open to the idea, I also recognize that there are deeper feelings I need to address during therapy. For instance, I feel like there's an underlying pressure coming from her, even if it's unintentional. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but it feels like she's waiting for me to have sex again. When I decided to stay with her years ago, it wasn't because I thought there was a chance we'd eventually be intimate. I fully accepted the possibility of living a sexless life, and I was okay with that because I loved and valued her as a person. This whole situation has made me question whether she's now approaching things from a different perspective, one where sex is an inevitable goal rather than a possibility. It's something I plan to bring up during therapy when I'm ready. For now, though, I'm trying to take things one step at a time. I know this isn't an easy journey for either of us, and I'm hopeful that therapy will provide a space where we can address these issues together in a constructive way. Edit: I think a lot of people are assuming I was physically harming myself in an extreme way. To clarify, I wasn't beating myself up or punching myself with full force. When I felt aroused or tempted to look at porn, I would slap my thigh or hand or pinch myself as a way to condition my behavior. I didn't harm my genitals or inflict serious pain, it was more of a discomforting nudge to redirect my thoughts. I just wanted to make that clear so there's no misunderstanding. Let's read irrelevant comments. First comment was, what was her reason for always denying you and now suddenly finding you desirable again? He replied to the first comment, trauma. She went through some bad sexual trauma when she was younger. Second comment was, wow. I'm sorry. This is a difficult path. Your girlfriend needs to change her mindset. You gave up sex, retrained your brain, accepted her exactly how she is. That is very noble of you. She needs to love you and accept you as you are. She says she will be patient. She owes minimum 8 years. Good luck on the therapy. I think that is an excellent idea. He posted a new update on January 8, 2025. It's been a long time since I posted and a lot has changed over the past few months. We were able to find a therapist for both of us as a couple and one for myself individually. This decision marked the beginning of a challenging but necessary journey. Opening up in therapy wasn't easy for me. I often felt like I wasn't allowed to feel frustrated or express the emotions I had been holding in for so long. It took time, but I eventually managed to share my thoughts and feelings with my girlfriend in an honest and open way. These conversations were difficult and emotionally taxing, but they were also incredibly important for our relationship. Our journey was anything but smooth. There were moments where it felt like we were both grappling with years of unresolved issues and misunderstandings. However, the process of working through those challenges together has brought us closer. We've developed a deeper understanding of each other, and I've gained more clarity about my own needs and boundaries. Honestly, it was a pretty arduous journey for both of us, but I'm happy to say that we are in a much better place now. Therapy has been instrumental in helping us rebuild our connection and find a healthier balance in our relationship. My girlfriend recognized that she was wrong for pressuring me into sex and for grabbing me out of nowhere without discussing things first. It was a difficult realization for her, but an important step in our journey. Likewise, I acknowledged that I was wrong for the way I handled things through my self-therapy approach to suppressing my libido. Both of us had made mistakes, and coming to terms with that was a significant part of our healing process. We decided to take small, careful steps towards intimacy. It wasn't easy, and the first time we tried to have sex, it was honestly a mess. There was awkwardness, nervousness, and a lot of emotions that needed processing. But we didn't give up. Over time, with patience and understanding, it started to feel more natural and comfortable for both of us. Now we're in a much better place both emotionally and physically. We've managed to rebuild a level of trust and connection that allows us to be intimate consistently. I honestly hadn't realized just how much I missed that part of our relationship until we found it again. We're still committed to continuing therapy because it's been such a valuable tool for us. It's helped us learn how to communicate better, address underlying issues, and grow together. I'm incredibly grateful for how far we've come and hopeful about the future we're building together. Let's read some top comments. First comment was, well, this was the best case scenario. Second comment was, I'm glad you're doing better, and I truly hope that this is a healthier relationship than it sounded like in your previous posts. Third comment was, honestly, this update is so refreshing to read. It's great to see a couple willing to work through tough issues together rather than just giving up. The fact that both of you took accountability, found therapy, and took small steps toward intimacy is really inspiring. Relationships are hard work, but it sounds like you're both stronger because of it. Wishing you both continued growth and happiness. Thank you for listening the story to the end. If you enjoy our videos, so don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Have a good day, and if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it and hit the notification bell icon to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.